The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will be live.
Greetings, my fellow warriors, your boy Meckanimal, and today I'm finally going to address the vertical pull. And why I took that long is because pretty much everybody knows about the pull-up, the basic pull-up, which is a tremendous and powerful upper body movement. And if it wasn't for the fact that for every pulling movement you need a pushing movement, I would be willing to bet that the pull-up is hands down the best upper body strength developer to ever have been used so far. And another reason why I decided to make the video right now is just because in this case we're going to be using the gymnastic ring, and this is not something we get to see often being made videos of pull-up perform on the gymnastic ring. If you ever see the pull-up being performed in the gymnastic rings, it's usually whenever we want to perform one-arm pull-up, archer pull-ups and stuff like that, because of the malleability of the ring. But as for the pull-up itself, for an instance, we don't really get to see tutorials of how to do a pull-up on the gymnastic ring. And another reason why I like to perform that on the ring is just because, for one, when you want to perform the chin-up, for those who would like to use the chin-up variation, it makes it takes it easier on your wrist, as opposed to the bar where you are fixated in a position that may be detrimental, what you call that may be like perilous to your wrist. So I like it on the ring because it just gives you that little slight angle, and that can make it easy on the wrist itself. And in some gyms you can see the way some of those bars are being made so that it's easy on your wrist. This is the same thing you can mimic without any type of equipment, any type of arsenal, just with the rings. If you decide to chin up, you'll be just in the right position to take it easy on your wrist and not hurt them so much. And another reason why I wanted to make it is because you don't see much people doing the pronated grip pull-up, because it's so damn weird and hard to make, for the average person who just doing the pull-up on the bar. It takes a different I won't say a different movement pattern, but because of the instability given by the ring, it makes it harder to perform the regular pull-up on the ring. So today we're going to address that as well, and that's that. Without further ado, let's get to how you perform the pull-up on the ring. And I'm going to start with the not so popular version, which is the pronated grip, and then we're gonna finish up with the supinated grip, which is a popular version of the pull-up that you see all around. So we're gonna go straight to the movement. You start by grabbing the ring and grab them on a neutral position. I would not like you to stray out of your way to get fancy on the outside of the ring. Just let your wrist fall, your hand fall into the ring and grab them. Also, I would like to add that you could apply a little bit of the false grip, because whenever you're doing the pronated on the ring, it's so much harder for your chin to clear the last range of motion. So by having the false grip, which require you to have a stronger forearm, you may be able to clean that top range that's missing. That's just a little tip to make you get the best out of the performance as possible. But it is up to you. Get that slight neutral false grip, or you can just be having the normal grip hanging down straight. So we're gonna start from the top to the bottom. The top is you grab the ring first. The second is you squeeze your glute to keep your spine neutral. And then the third is, instead of having a knee bent, which you might need to do because sometimes you may not find high enough places to hang them. If it was up to you, me, to do it perfectly, you want to have your feet extended so you can have your body completely straight. So because a lot of time the branches will be short and you may not have a high place to hang them, you may just need to bend your knee to perform them. But provided that you have a long enough real estate, big enough real estate, I would suggest you to keep your leg extended and get your glute tight. So what I was saying is this grab is slightly on the false grip side and then hang. It requires you to have a really strong grip, and from that position extend your hip, squeeze your glutes, and start by engaging your shoulder blade. Some people may call it retraction or depression. Some people may call it a combination of both, and I believe it shouldn't really matter. As in retraction, we have the pulling your shoulder blade back. Depression, you drop it down. Both are needed for you to engage your shoulder blade complex to pull up. So instead of going through the debate or the argument or whether you should retract or depress first, just do both and then gun up. So you want to start retract, depression, and then pull yourself up. As you can see, I have my wrist neutral right here and back there. If I was to force it and lock it, then I'll be able to get a little better range on top. So by false gripping, I'm able to pull myself as high as possible, and this is the benefit you can get from false gripping slightly as much as possible. But it's not given to everybody, because most people don't have the grip strength to false grip it, especially if you're a beginner. So do the neutral part first, right here, and then up and back, up and back. So it doesn't really matter whether you retract or depress first. Just do both at the same time and then gun up and rise. So it's self-explanatory. So we're going to address the chin-up version now. Now comes down to the chin-up, which is a supinated version. Sometimes I use chin-up for both. Sometimes I use pull-up for both. But conventionally, people tend to use chin-up for the supinated grip. So chin-up is what you're going to be seeing a lot with people using the ring, and it's self-explanatory. Grab the ring outside here, okay, and as you can see, because of the shoulder structure, you tend to have that little bit of slanted position. So you grab it in that slanted position, you hang, squeeze your glute, keep that spine neutral, retract your shoulder blade, and then pull and back down, pull and back down, gun up, pull and back down. So two basic things you need to be observed is that whenever you're doing the chin up, because of the position of the wrist, it makes you use the bicep more, and because you are away from keeping the elbow back, it makes the movement much easier. So it's not so much that it's only because you're using your bicep more that it makes the movement easier on the chin up. It's more so that anytime you flare your elbow out, it makes the pull-up more difficult, and I would address that in a different video. The fact that you bring your elbow in the forward plane makes the movement much easier, and I would like you to test and see. Anytime you're doing a pull-up, the more you flare your elbow out, the harder the movement is going to tend to be, and the more you bring it forward, the easier it's going to be. And because the chin-up structure, I'm going to put you in a structural scheme that be right now, that you have your elbow forward, the movement tends to be easier, and then also you tend to use your biceps. So this is something you have to keep in mind. Let me give you a better panoramic sight of the movement itself, and I'm going to illustrate what I was just saying right now in relation to whether you bring your elbow in the forward plane as opposed to the side plane. So here, even if I was to perform the pronated grip, right, the moment I get my elbow forward, it's much easier than if I have my elbow flared out. When I have my elbow flared out, it makes the movement much harder. So that's something to keep in mind as well. But the better you master the flared out pulling, the stronger you're gonna get. And I think some people who excel at pulling and make it look so effortless, regardless of the first rep or the last rep, are people who have mastered the art of pulling with the elbow more on the sideway than people who have the elbow forward. So that's something to keep in mind. As you get stronger and better, you want to learn to find a good balance between not too far out and not too far in. But the thing with the chin up automatically make your elbow forward, which make the movement much easier. As opposed to the pull-up, you have to really work to keep the elbow forward, even if you want it to. But by default, you tend to pull with your elbow a little bit on the backside, which is why the pull-up can tend, with the pronated grip, can tend to be harder on the ring than on the pull-up bar, because the instability of the ring is pushing you in the position that's mechanically at your disadvantage. So that's that. And yeah, I think I cover everything you needed to know about the pull-up on the ring. And yeah, so if you're already proficient at the supinated grip, I'll urge you to work on the pronated grip on the ring. And not only it will make you use more your grips, the radiobrachialis, but it will just get you to perform the movement at a disadvantage position, and then eventually when you transfer that back to the bar, you have a little bit of advantage of it, and may let you squeeze out a few more repetition or sets, increasing your work capacity. And increasing your work capacity in the general term means gains, muscle gains. So that's that. And let's get some few more repetition with the cleanest form as possible.
The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will be live.